This is an overview of the Orion Damage Assessment App. The Orion Damage Assessment App is an app for smartphones or tablets. The state of Utah has licensed the app, and Tooele County has adopted it as part of their processes. The West Desert Amateur Radio Club has been given the assignment by Tooele County Emergency Management to assist the county in a wake of an incident. Now, it's important to know that we are not trained building inspectors or assessment personnel. Our assignment is essentially to obtain baseline assessment data or obtain initial assessment data and provide that to trained people, the experts, who will complete the information and do the actual assessment itself. We've been given three potential assignments. Our first one is to do a baseline assessment of the public facilities and infrastructure within the county. The idea is to provide a baseline of these facilities before any damage occurs so that it can then be compared to the situation after an incident. There are currently around 100 of these public facilities and infrastructures. These include city and county buildings, schools, church buildings, cell towers, electrical distribution centers, natural gas distribution locations, roads, bridges, and reservoirs. In fact, the drill that we were planning to do on the 2nd of May was to include going out and doing many of these baseline assessments. That drill has been postponed until July or August, but that's what we'll be doing when we do that drill. A second assignment that we have would be following an incident to do a follow-up to the initial assessment on the same facilities and infrastructure to determine whether or not there is a damage sufficient that some particular action needs to be taken. And then finally, Tooele County Emergency Management would like a baseline of every house in the county. Now that'll take some time and it'll take some thinking and some planning, for us to be able to do that. But the first two are our primary opportunities. The app runs on Android and iOS devices, both smartphones and tablets. It's free. Obviously, it doesn't work unless you have a login and user IDs and credentials. Your Android or iOS devices need to be relatively new, at least within the last couple of years. The older smartphones and tablets may or may not play well with the application. It synchronizes to a companion website called the dashboard. The app downloads the available information for the incident from the dashboard and then uploads the obtained assessment information back to the dashboard. That upload or download can be either done over cellular data, and data rates apply if that's done. Or it can be set in the settings so that it only does the synchronization when you're connected to Wi-Fi. And then the app steps you through the entire assessment process. Now, much of the information, particularly when we're doing the initial baseline, we won't know, but we just leave it blank and let the experts complete it. The map includes the ability to take pictures, and these pictures take advantage of the GPS information from your smartphone or tablet. All of the pictures are geocoded and uploaded to the dashboard, and obviously the more pictures we take, the better. It allows us to be able to document the information according to the Federal Emergency Management Association or Authority, FEMA, according to their guidelines. And they specify some specific designations: affected, minor, major, and destroyed. Those are the only four. And the type of structures: it's either residential, business, agriculture, or public. The app also accesses the assessed tax data information, which then gets automatically populated, particularly when we're doing things like businesses and residences and farms and that sort of thing. And it also collects a lot of information, particularly after an incident, about injuries, deaths, special needs, insurance, disruptions, hazardous material, all of that other sort of thing. This is a look at what the dashboard looks like. I'll show it in real time in just a moment. But essentially on the dashboard, we can see a couple of things. One of them is we can select the incident that we are working on. And the one that we're assigned to is called the Baseline West Desert Amateur Radio Club. We can also sort and filter the data that's being shown on the web page. And then over on the right-hand side is the information, statistical information from all of the assessments that have been performed. Now, at the moment, we're performing pre-initial assessments before incidents. And so consequently, there won't be any damages. There won't be any particular impacts or anything else associated with them. So that's what the dashboard looks like. Now why don't we go look at the app and the dashboard and so on itself. When the dashboard is displayed, and all of you will have access to be able to view what's on the dashboard. When the dashboard initially comes up, it comes up like a map, and from the map we can then select which incident we want to take a look at. And for instance, this would be ours, the Baseline West Desert Amateur Radio Club. And what then is shown on the map are any of the facilities that have already been assessed in some fashion or another. For instance, here's one that Elisa Wadsworth did over in Grantsville. This shows us the actual information that she was able to capture. We can then step through all of the information, the property information, what damage or whatever damage or impact was there. We can also see what the pictures were that were taken of the facility. Contact information, notes, etc. All of that is available in the app. Let's take a look at the app itself on your smartphone. This is what the app looks like on your smartphone or on your tablet when you first open it up. It will display a list of all of the incidents that are available to us. The one on the bottom, called Orion Training, that's the incident that we'll be using when we're doing the actual training exercise. The next one up, the Baseline, for the West Desert Amateur Radio Club, that's the incident that we'll be using as we are doing our assessments for the initial assessment of any of these things. If you touch on any one of those, and I'll touch on the baseline assessment, it will show all of the assessments that have been done that are associated with that particular incident. And with that, you can then continue to go take a look at a specific incident. Okay, so here's one that's public infrastructure. It's out in Lake Point. And if we look at some of the pictures that are associated with it, okay, there's one. There's a second one, and so on. And all of these pictures then become a part of the basic assessment that's going on. If we go back to the screen with the incidents, if we are at a new location, we touch the thing at the very bottom that says Add New Address. And the first thing that will happen is the GPS will attempt to identify specifically what address you're at. It takes sometimes a few seconds for it to do all of that. It'll ask if you want to accept that. I say, okay, I will. It'll give, if it's a bit ambiguous, it'll give me a list of potential addresses. I can select one of those, and it will immediately pre-populate the information that it's got. And then I can just go straight down the list. I can choose the structure type, and I think we'll call this one a resident. We can choose the area in which it's in, and this one is in Tooele. So we go down and find Tooele and say, okay, that's what that is. We've got the address filled in and the zip code, along with the latitude and the longitude. And all we got to do is say, okay, let's save it. And now we can go down and do all of the rest of the assessment associated with it. Starting at the top left, we touch on that little thing, and it's asking information about the residents. If we had said this was agriculture, we'd get a different set of questions. If we said it was a business, we would get a different set of questions. And but essentially, you just go down the list. The next one has to do with the inspection information, how much of it is, what kind of damage that is visible. The next one down is where we can store any pictures that are associated, take pictures and store them. The next one down has to do with what, if any, impact to human life, and when we're doing the initial assessment, there isn't any impact. We can also identify any special needs that are there at that particular facility. You know, for instance, in my case, in my particular residence, we would probably mark elderly, and we'd also mark senior without family. When we're doing an assessment after an incident, we're actually talking with the owner or the manager or whatever the facility, and we begin to pull the other information, like, you know, is there insurance and other kinds of information associated with it. There's a place for us to identify contact information. We've got a place to put any other kinds of notes that we might need. And there is also information we can put in there about any particular issue that they should be concerned about before first responders arrive on the scene. And the last one is for state and FEMA review, you know, type of affair. So all of that is, you know, essentially just walk down, and that's how the information is gathered, and that's what the app looks like. If we go back to our address table, we should now have a new address in there. And by the way, as long as this has not yet been uploaded to the server, we can delete it. Once it's been uploaded to the server, if it needs to be deleted, then it will be done automatically. It will be done by the administrator of the system. And okay, I'm sure I want to delete it. And away it went, finally. I guess I hit the wrong button before. Okay, so that's what the app looks like. How do you get yourself trained? The training itself is fairly straightforward. It takes about a half an hour. However, getting the app initially set up and your credentials verified and the initial data synchronization and so on takes a little bit of time and sometimes requires some one-on-one assistance to make it happen. So consequently, we're going to do the training in small groups of 4 to 5 people. We'll be doing it using Zoom, so you won't have to leave your house. You can just do it right on your own computer. And it'll take about 45 minutes. But you'll need to sign up for the training. So go to the West Desert Amateur Radio Club website. That's http://westdesertarc.org. Click on the WDARC event registration, select Orion Assessment App Training, and click on Register. The classes will be made up on a first-come, first-served basis, and they're starting on April the 6th and will continue as people are signing up. So that's the Orion Damage Assessment App and everything you need to know to get trained. We're going to need a lot of trained volunteers. I'd like to get as many as 50 people trained between now and the middle part of summer. This is this is a great opportunity for us and something that will be very valuable to the community and to everything that you can do to assist. So go to the West Desert Amateur Radio Club website and sign up for the training. This is Roland Smith, Vice President of the West Desert Amateur Radio Club. Thank you very much.